Sand, silt, and clay. What kind of soil do we have today? All right, let's go check it out. Hi everyone, your creative educator here, and welcome to Sparks the Flames Education, where you get great science, math, and reading content, and really fun and creative ways of inspiring learning. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification so that you can see our new videos on Mondays. Like and share.
Subscribe when you see the soccer ball.
Okay everybody, so we're back with the garden. And this time I'm going to be looking at the actual soil. So there are different types of soils, and the different types of soils will make nutrients available to the plants in different ways. So I'm going to be checking out the different types of soil, and then I'm going to be kind of figuring out what to do with the soil to plant the things I want to plant. So here goes. Alright, so you can have soil that is really sandy. So it has lots of sand. You can actually see the sand grains. You can have soil that is silty, which has finer grains, but you can actually tell that it's graining. And then you can have soil that is kind of like clay. And clay soil is that really pasty type of a soil. So I'm going to collect some sample, or a sample, and then I'm going to kind of check it out to see what type of soil we have. Now, as you can see, soil is made up of actual mineral particles from broken down rocks. It actually has water in there. You can see the moist area here. It has air, and it has organic matter. So organic matter like this tree root, you'll see some animal parts in there, some fecal matter sometimes. So you have the organic matter, and then you have the inorganic matter, all together making up the soil. All right, so based on what we can see right here, you see how it's kind of gray? That means there's some sand. You can actually see some sand. You see the organic matter, but you also have that darker color area, which means that you have broken down organic matter, and it could also be silty. So we're gonna go inside, and I'm gonna do a quick and easy way of checking out the type of soil that you have. Okay everybody, so
There's the ball. Subscribe now. Let's get back to the video, and don't forget to subscribe.
Hi everybody, so I brought the sample inside, as you can see here, and then I also set up 3 different samples that are kind of examples of the different soil types. So if you look at this one is sand. So if you look at it, you can see the larger grains, the actual granules. This one would be representative of silt, and you could see that it looks a little bit more muddy, but you can actually see some of the grains. And then this one would be an example of clay. And for this one, you could see the actual pasty kind of look that soil type would have. I'm gonna now add water to each of them so that we could see what they look like when water is added, because that's how I'm going to test the actual soil sample that we collected. All right, so adding the water to the clay. Adding some water to the silt, and adding some water to the sand. Now I'm gonna stir. And then hold it up so you can see. So this is what the sand would look like. If you could feel it, you would feel that the silt feels a bit more pasty, and you could see a little bit more mud being formed, because the grains of the silt are a little bit smaller than those of the sand. Now I'm going to mix the clay. And the clay, of course, is very muddy. So when it actually dissolves, the water gets very cloudy and it's very pasty. And you don't see that many granules or grains in the clay. This is actually bentonite clay because where I am, I don't see that much clay type soil. I see more sandy silt type soil. So looking at them from the side, that's what the sand would look like. You see all the sand particles settled at the bottom. Then silt would have a little bit more mud, but you also see the settling of the silt. And then for the actual clay, the clay would be the most cloudy if I were to actually mix it all out. So what I'm going to do is add the sample that I collected to a container, then I'm going to add water to it, and I'm going to see which of these characteristics I actually get. And this will kind of tell me approximately how much of these types of soil I have in that soil sample. So I've added a good amount of the soil to the container, and then I'm going to add the water, then cover the container, and then I'm going to shake it to get everything mixed in. So I've added the water, adding a bit more water, then I'm going to cover it and shake it, and then let it settle. So as you can see, it has been shaken. Make sure you use a container that has a cover. So it's been shaken, and I'm just gonna let it sit there. At the bottom you can see some of the sand settling. Already tells me that we have a great amount of sand, a great deal of sand in this soil sample. We have some organic matter floating on the top, and then we'll see if we get a silt layer and if we get a clay layer. So we'll see if we get those two layers. But for now, we see that we have a great deal of sand settling. All right, I'm gonna give it a good stir again, then I'm gonna put it away for a few minutes. All right, and there you go. We just let it settle, and I'll come back and show you the results. Okay everyone, so it has been settling only for a few minutes, and if you look here you can see the sand layer at the bottom, and then you can see the silt layer above it, and then the clay is mixed in here. But based on what I'm seeing so far, there's lots of sand, there is some silt right here, you see that line right there. So the sand is below, and then we have the silt here. And then the clay would be a thin layer that once this settles would be that thin layer on top. So this soil has lots of sand and silt. The pH is alkaline. So now I'm going to have to put all that information together and try to figure out what else I need to do to the soil to make it really optimal for the things that I want to plant. And I'll share that video with you next week. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you all next week, and peace out.